Such crazy aura. All right. All right, I wanted to watch this video. I won't lie, this thumbnail did get me. I have to be honest.
So let me talk to you about another thing which I'm radicalized on. I've done a total 180 on my perception of new media. I used to be of the belief that virtually everybody in new media, you could take them at face value. They're honest actors. You might disagree with them, but they mean what they say, etc. Now I'm the exact opposite. I think virtually everybody in new media is a fucking liar. They're a dishonest hack, or they're paid to spew the opinions that they spew. And just to give an example,
Study time, thank you for the raid. Hi, hello raiders, welcome, 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 welcome. Hi, we're watching political stuff.
we're talking about Trump's scam meme coin, which he launched 2 days before his inauguration, where he made tens of billions of dollars. And here's the thing, everybody knew that was a scam. There's not a single person who looks at that who doesn't know that it's a scam. But, you know, everybody go take a look. How many of the MAGA influencers and podcasters talked about it and condemned it properly? How many did that, right? Very few, if any. There were some, I guess, in the crypto community who were like, this is not good, but almost all of them are, they just ignored it. They ignored it or they supported it.
Yeah,
right?
I love how Portnoy was like, this is bad. And then he was like, I bought some. I made a lot of money. Now I might launch my own. It's like, oh, look at this principled reaction.
So every MAGA influencer and non-MAGA influencer who didn't vociferously condemn that, I literally don't take anything you have to say seriously ever again, ever. Yeah. You're a paid hack or you're dishonest. And I want to know your thoughts on new media, because I look now, I mean, it is a fucking cesspool. I see Slow Rogan was defending Elon's Nazi salute. Of course, because he's got his little peanut brain. Yeah. Oh, I can never disagree with Elon. He's such a genius. It's the most pathetic cuckery I've ever seen in my life. Demi Jor was defending Trump's first day.
Slow Rogan is crazy.
Executive orders. He literally did a segment where he was like, the glorious Trump has saved the whales. Because he went after Whitman. I was like, this is like an AI parody of what Jimmy Dore was going to become, right? I was like, you really got nothing to say about the executive order that raised drug prices. You got nothing to say about the executive order that laid the groundwork for war with Mexico. You got nothing to say about the executive order that increased corruption in Trump's cabinet, where he said, you guys could take bribes now. Nothing on any of that. So my question for you is, are you as black-pilled as I am on new media? Of course, we're black-pilled on mainstream media, but new media was a separate question. But now I'm like, motherfucker, I got a 7-front war going on. I got to go to war against all these motherfuckers because they're all completely and utterly full of shit and dishonest hacks, and many of them are just paid to spew their opinions.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Like, obviously, I'm going to be biased on this as someone who kind of just says whatever I want to say online. But I am genuinely surprised by the number of... Obviously, like, I think all of us have learned to accept the fact that all mainstream media sucks. Like, I think the genocide in Gaza kind of highlighted all of that for everyone. Like, if you were on the fence about mainstream media being shit, you grew up, right? You grow up and you realize, oh, actually, wait, it's all shit. It's no one is reporting fairly on this. Everyone is being like, oh, Bibi is really trying to get this ceasefire deal. And it's really sad because now even like creators online, aka what he's calling new media, so Joe Rogan, Ben Shapiro, these people, it's also all shit, except for the small group of leftists that just get online and say their shit, which is insane.
And to your point about Demi, the dude brought on Roseanne Barr with the QAnon hat at a live show, and I'm just like, man, I thought his brain was cooked back in like
he's just out-lefting us, guys. Yeah. We just don't understand.
Trump and Demi are just out-lefting everybody. We just don't get it. His own audience.
You just don't get how Trump saved the whales, bro. Like, why will you never give him credit for that?
At his point, his own audience has got to be like, why are you pretending like he's on the left? Like, we're on the right. We want you to be on the right. We want him to be on the right. What do you like? It's this weird ghost of like 2018 where, like, it's a parody of what he was going to become.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
reached his end stage.
I guess so.
He thinks
which is
Trump
just
is
MAGA.
doing praxis. He actually thinks Trump is doing praxis. It's so fucking hilarious. No, so like, here's the thing about new media. I think that it has opened a lot of doors for better analysis. One example being Palestine. Like, you just can't see the analyses that Breaking Points or Secular Talk does on MSNBC. I mean, sometimes you do, right? To be fair, Chris Hayes, but that's an exception to the rule, not like what you see common. But ultimately, new media is a cesspool. For every Kyle or Crystal, there's 10 Demi Doors. For every David Dole, there's 15 Joe Rogans. The problem is that, like, what made it good has kind of made it bad. And to show you what I mean, before it seemed awesome to have this direct connection to your audience, to where if you mess up, they can correct you. You can see the comments, you can see them grilling you. But that actually kind of became a double-edged sword, because now that's facilitated this audience capture where, you say something, you get praised for it. It kind of creates this feedback loop.
That's right.
And then can corner these pundits in certain ways. And, you want to ride the wave. It feels good to get views and clicks and to do well. So maybe you kind of become captured by the audience. And to show, like, anyone is susceptible to this. Like, back when I first started out, I was shitting on Democrats and Hillary Clinton incessantly. And I had built up a lot of right-wing followers. And then all of a sudden I do a video shitting on Pizzagate.
Is this why you ask for haters in chat? Unironically, yes. I think people think I'm joking a little bit, but I do appreciate haters in chat. Because I think it strengthens your positions, and I think it makes you have better positions. Right? Like, as infuriating as it is, okay, I will admit it's infuriating. I want to have the ability to disagree with the people who come to stream and watch the stream. Like, I don't mean like actual haters, right? Because I don't think anybody wants actual haters. But like, I want to be able to say something like, hey, actually, wait, AI is a tool, and I want people to disagree. Because I want, first of all, if I'm wrong or I can't defend my position, then I want to be able to establish a new, better position. But also, if I'm not wrong, I should be able to explain my position well enough and learn how to explain it well enough to convince people of that position. And like, the thing is also, like, content creators, no, echo chambers aren't real. Like, sorry. They're real, but like, they're not real. You can't make every single stream or every single...
to beat an orange run with the checker deck by 528 points.
Oh, that's so brutal. I'm not gonna get caught up into that. Sorry, I don't want to get into echo chambers. One topic at a time. No ADHD today. Every online leftist needs a normie chatter behind them whispering "You are not Lenin" into their ears. You want true American patriots fact-checking you? Amen. Exactly. No. Echo chambers only exist for right-wingers. Correct. Yes, that's closer to what I wanted to explain. This chat message is like giving me psychic damage. I'm not going to read it. But what I was trying to explain was, you want to be able to disagree, especially when you are a content creator the way that, like, streamers usually are. Because I think YouTubers tend to have, like, teams. So you're a little bit divorced from your audience, right? Whereas streamers, or like personality streamers especially, are not. And they get so much blind simping that they develop these insane egos that let them do insane shit. I think this is a big reason why, for example, Asmongold is like, I think he's now potentially beyond saving. Because he's gotten so much positive reinforcement being a total dumbfuck online, just regurgitating right-wing propaganda. that I don't.
Was once a Hasanabi refugee and now been here 7 months.
Welcome. Welcome for the 7th month. No name, George. Thank you. Asmund said he's 99% sure of the Holocaust. Mm. 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 Love that. Love that. I love that. It's so good. Oh man. Oh man. The only way that Asmund can actually get saved is if he completely falls off and loses his following. Correct. Yes. Correct. He has to throw a bone to the Nazis in his audience. Anyways, moving on. I think people like Asmund, they get to the way that they are, or they get to the point that they're at because they don't have any desire to check themselves, and they don't allow people to remain in their chat to check them, right? Which on the one hand, I kind of understand because I've banned people who disagree with me, but only because they do it in the most annoying way. Like I can say anything and they'll be like, no, no, I disagree. No. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to ban you again. Check the rules in this chat just because you're annoying. But he just, it's anyone. It's anyone who ever disagrees with him. Someone can provide like an actual argument and he'll be like, yeah, well, you're a fucking idiot. Bans. It's like, whoa. You didn't even argue it. You didn't even explain why that guy was wrong. You just disagreed and then banned him. Damn, what the hell? And then you become like susceptible to having an insane ego and never ever checking yourself ever. And I never want to have that in my life, okay? I want people who come in here and shit on me and give me shit for having bad, stupid opinions or saying dumb, stupid shit. Because I don't want to end up, although I think it'll be pretty impossible, with an ego so big that I am incapable of receiving any criticism and taking it to heart.
And, calling them stupid. And then I realized, wow, I got like majority dislikes and something is going on here.
Yeah.
Is my audience pizza gators? Like, what am I doing? And I didn't realize that like I'd kind of cultivated this, right? By just shitting on Democrats and not contrasting enough with how bad Republicans were. I had created this situation where a lot of my audience were seemingly right-wingers, and they didn't care that I was criticizing Democrats from the left. They just cared that I was shitting on Democrats.
That's right.
Right.
And at that point in time, I had to make a choice. Do I lean into that because that's my audience, or do I shun them? And the answer was, no, I had to shun them. Because even though I'm building an audience and I'm getting views and clicks, I'm not going to basically sell out my own principles to get claps. I don't give a shit. Like, why did I start doing this in the first place? And I think that a lot of people, they're gonna have moments like that, and it's gonna change them, right? They start as lefties, and then little by little, they realize, okay, I got pushback when I said this, I won't say that, and they start to self-censor.
And that's the other thing as well. A lot of the time they don't even realize that they're doing on it. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of this is happening unconsciously. Like, I genuinely think what Asmongold has done to himself has been subconscious. Like, I think he just does things and then he responds to negative or positive criticism. That's it. I don't even think it's particularly like an active decision on his part where he's saying, oh, okay, I got it. I'll be more right wing. I think he literally just, when his audience glazes him, he's like, I'll do more of that. Yeah, that was good. He's just reacting to shapes and colors. Exactly. Precisely. Which, like, you don't have to take it from me also, by the way, chat, because it's like, well, what do you know about this? You can take it from iDubbbz, who has made, he went on Anthony Padilla's podcast and talked about it. And I mention it a lot and I reference it a lot because I think iDubbbz is one of the few very large male content creators who had to experience taking a hard, good look at their audience and realizing that they didn't want the audience that they ended up accumulating accidentally. And when I'm using accidentally, I'm using it a little bit facetiously here. And he talks about how you just follow the algo, you just do whatever makes people like you the most and gives you the most views, and you think you're doing the right thing, and then you realize, oh wait. At some point you realize, are we the baddies? Are we the baddies? Genuine question. Every time I come to Twitch, watch more influencers like yourself, I'm glad to see that everyone's pointing out BS in our system. However, the doomer mindset in itself, I feel like is very unproductive. Discourages me from even wanting to participate in society. I want to be involved in our community, help others as much as possible without this impending feeling of doing 24/7, 365 of our system. What's your limit? What's your solution for people feeling stuck? I mean, I think that, like, you know how you don't mistreat your pets because the world is going to end? Like, you wouldn't suddenly start, like, being, like, abusing your pets because what, like Trump got elected or something? Like, I think the world could be ending tomorrow and you wouldn't be like, well, nothing matters, so who cares about even giving my pet a good life? Sorry, maybe this analogy is kind of insane. Sorry. Let me try again. Let me restart on that one. I got distracted by a chat message and I let my brain run on autopilot, which wasn't great. Sorry, let me try again. Let me fix this. If you have a cat or a dog or a fish or a ferret or whatever, you have some animal that is in your care and you take care of that animal, you know that it will not live longer than probably 20 years, unless you have a special fucking breed of some special fucking animal, all right? Everyone here is aware that, like, yeah, your cat or your dog is probably going to live maybe 15 years. And when your pet does pass, the best thing to remember, in my opinion, is knowing that you gave them the best life that they could have. They weren't going to be around forever, and maybe they would pass in a way that sucked. But every minute that you were with them, you tried to make it good. You tried to give them the best life they could have. You tried to instill as much joy and as much love in these small creatures that care so much about you. And hopefully you succeeded. And maybe you didn't change the world by giving that one animal a great life, but you gave that animal a great life, which is objectively beneficial. Like, that was objectively a net good in the world. And I try to think about things like mutual aid in the same way. You're not going to fix the system with mutual aid. You're not going to change the world with mutual aid. But you might change that person's life. You might be the tipping point for that person that you helped in some meaningful way. And you might have genuinely impacted at least one person. Right? And I think as long as you focus on that, it's hard to be a doomer. Because who cares if you can't change the world? I mean, realistically, one person is going to always struggle to change the fucking world, right? But maybe you can change the impact of just that one person's life. And isn't that worth trying? Isn't it worth trying to do that? And that's why I suggest that working with other people, joining your local DSA, engaging in mutual aid, I think those are all worth doing. And yeah, maybe you didn't fix poverty. Maybe you didn't fix homelessness. Maybe you didn't fix food shortage or whatever, or food deserts or whatever, right? But maybe those people that you helped genuinely felt the difference. It sounds a bit gay. This is a pretty homosexual stream, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest with all of you.
Sure. A lot of
and also, sorry, that's also like how I view my own stream. Like, I'm not gonna change the world with my stream, okay? I am not going to enact political change on a massive scale with this stream. That's not what the goal is. The goal is maybe I have a fun stream that makes a couple people's days a little bit better. Maybe I get a couple people once in a while to engage in some mutual aid. Maybe I get to get people to stay hydrated. Maybe I get people to work out or eat a little bit healthier or treat people around them a little kinder. Or even just like cheer someone up a little bit. And if I did that, I think I made the world a little bit better. Even if it wasn't in a massive way. It doesn't need to be in a massive way, right? Or even like things like, I don't want to get too deep into the sauce, but you guys get the point that I'm talking about. You're not going to change the world, but you can change at least one person's life, maybe. You got me addicted to Marvel Rivals. Apologize. Okay, sorry. You helped me with my beginning transition. Oh, Pog. You may not change the world, but you can change some people's worlds. Yeah, and that's enough for me. I'm not gonna give up. Mostly because giving up is what losers do, and I'm not a fucking loser. Okay, I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Damn it, I will win. Okay, I will not lose. I am not a loser, and I'm not gonna give up. But also because isn't it worth trying? All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Exactly.
People go. I mean, look at the Vanguard when they first started out. Jimmy Dore attacked them on the subject of him. I think it was because they interviewed Brian Grimm. I might be misremembering, and they had their whole audience shit on them. And what do? They doubled down on shitting on Jimmy Dore, and they stayed the course, and they just started to say what they wanted to say. A lot of people, they are presented with this option, like, do you want to go this way or that way? Mm-hmm. And it's really easy to choose the easy route to just get views and clicks.
But
it's really easy to be lazy.
Now look at them, though. The wave riders and the narrative humpers are all in the doghouse, every last one of them. And Crystal, tell me what you think of this. I've brought this up many times, but I always say this. There's a difference between your nominal politics and your effective politics. Mm-hmm. Your nominal politics, that's what you label yourself. I am X. Yeah. That's your nominal politics. Your effective politics, it's not what you say and what you think you are. It's what everybody hears.
That's right.
So take a guy like Tim Pool. He's been saying forever he's a liberal or he's center-left or whatever. He's been saying this for so long. Meanwhile, go look at his content. 98% of it is shitting on Democrats, liberals, and leftists. And
it's like every thumbnail is destroyed wokies. It's like, yeah, you're a liberal. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you're definitely center-left. Uh-huh. And then he brings Sam Cedar on his show, and then every comment is like, I don't understand why you guys agreed so much. Because he couldn't defend any of the positions that he puts on his fucking thumbnails. Yeah, abortion, yeah. It's like kind of hot in here. When has Tim Pool ever said he's a liberal or anything? He calls himself a classical liberal. And he calls himself center. But yeah, it's a fucking joke. It's two things going back on the topic really quickly. The previous topic. because I think this is a good chat message. I also think the fact that many people influence the people we view as having changed the world by themselves. Somebody taught MLK Jr. about kindness besides his family. Somebody helped James Baldwin get into writing. Somebody influenced Chomsky. We don't know who they are, but they were just as important, and you never know if you will be that person. Yep. I'm trying to like think of how to phrase the sentence I want to phrase, but basically, yes, I agree with you. You influence other people around you, even if you don't feel like you do. And you'll never know how much you influence the people around you. But know that you do. So shouldn't you be a positive influence? Kindness is learned, not inherited. 100%. What? Are you kidding me? Kids can be so evil. Also related to the video, something similar is happening in the VTube space where people are saying, I'm apolitical, everyone's welcome in my space, where if you have no safeguards and lines in the sand for yourself and your community, it can make people who are right-wing or extremists feel like they are welcome in your community. Yes. Like, the thing is, technically, you do not have to have any political value to watch my stream. If anything, I enjoy having right-wingers in the chat. I enjoy seeing different arguments that right-wingers use. I enjoy seeing positions that they hold, opinions that they have, and I think you will never be able to correctly de-radicalize right-wingers if you never hang out with right-wingers, right? But there is a massive difference between saying you're apolitical and saying, yeah, you're welcome here, but you still have to abide by the rules. If there are right-wingers in here, or God forbid, like bigots in here, they know better than to type that shit in here, right? Because they know they will get banned because that behavior is not allowed. You can have whatever opinions you have. You're not allowed to just espouse the most garbage in this chat and shit it up for everybody else. Everyone else who's trying to have a productive conversation. You're welcome to be whoever you want to be, but you're not welcome to have actions without consequences. The problem is a lot of the apolitical people just like allow the fucking Nazis to just fester. And then there's like one stream they'll have where they'll be like, yeah, I don't think I'll vote Trump. And then their entire chat is yelling at them. And it's like, I was kidding. I think I was a centrist when I started watching Hassan Payne. Oh no. Owie. Took a little psychic damage from that one. It's the cozy streamer conversation from a year or two ago. Yeah. I mean, this is the Hogwarts Legacy video game conversation from a few years ago. Right? Like, you don't have to be political to say, oh, actually, first of all, this game looks like shit. I'm not gonna play it off that. But second, I'm just not interested in playing a game that is being made by someone who's just so weirdly obsessed with people's genitals. Like, that is the least political statement you can make that is objectively true. And so many streamers were afraid to say that. So many streamers were, like, terrified to say that. And it's like, oh my god, dude. I was anti-SJW when I found Hassan. I was already uncomfortable with how racist my allies were at the time. Yeah.
Cultivate an audience that just wants to hear him shit on Democrats, liberals, and leftists. So the audience are right-wingers. Piers Morgan, same thing. He does the game, I'm an old school liberal or I'm an enlightened centrist. Okay, 90% of his coverage shits on Democrats, liberals, and leftists. So he attracts the audience that wants you to shit on Democrats, liberals, and leftists. Jimmy Dore, exact same thing. Yeah, oh, I'm attacking the Democrats from the left. And I will still somehow pretend to be on the left, even though 98% of his coverage is shitting on Democrats, liberals, and leftists, and even going now as far as to just give Trump credit and say stupid shit like he's out-lefting the Democrats. And so, like, it's funny to me that, like, these simpletons, none of them considered, oh, people aren't going to be on to my trick. right? They're not going to be on to, like, yes, my nominal politics are this, but really, effectively, this is my real politics, is I'm actually a right-winger.
Yeah.
Because this is what I manifest in the world. These are the type of people I create. These are the talking points I put out there 24/7. I guess I'm just in awe that, like, what, you thought we would never catch on to this?
Right.
You thought, like, people see how immensely dishonest it was. For a while, it works. At the beginning, it works. Because people think, oh, that's interesting. So you're on the left, and we think you're genuinely on the left. And you're really going after the Democrats hard for not being sufficiently leftist. That's curious. That's interesting. Let me watch this. Let me follow this. It'll work for a little bit, but then eventually the jig is up. And effectively, everybody knows you're pure MAGA now.
Yeah.
And nobody's interested. Why would they go to you when they can go to Steven Crowder, where he get the straight dope from Steven Crowder?
That's
You
right.
get the straight dope from Ben Shapiro. You get the straight dope from every host on the Daily Wire. You get the straight dope from Fox News and Newsmax. Why would anybody go to you? You're irrelevant.
Right. But you have to continue. If you're going to keep getting the hit, you have to continue going more and more and more right.
But now,
so, like,
what do you actually believe at this point then,
well,
right?
that's it. Is, you know, you start off with something that's like a real legitimate critique of Democrats that a lefty should hold, and you get the praise for that.
I truly feel that Crystal and Kyle being together both improved their politics. I totally agree. I totally agree. I feel like it made them both better people. It's actually really dope. For anyone that doesn't know the lore behind the two people in the Kyle Kalinske, I guess it's not. It's called Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. But they used to hold, I think, like a podcast together, or they would do shows together, and then they started dating, and then I think they got married, and then they both became cooler. It was really dope, actually. I couldn't believe it. They were both a little bit libby, just a little. I think Krista was way more libby. And then somehow the two of them combined and became really cool. It was so dope. And then I became like a massive Kyle and Crystal fan. Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
But if you're going to keep getting that same hit, you know, just like a drug,
they fusion dance, dude.
you got to go more and more and more and more. And then eventually you're just...
You get 18,000 views on a
You're
video.
just right-wing.
And you're
and
like,
now
okay.
you're like, you know, that's not all that interesting. Okay, you're another right-winger. Big deal. And there are other, like, right-wingers out there who are willing to be all the way MAGA and have been all the way MAGA the whole time. And so, yeah, it's obvious what happened. I mean, it took me a while, Mike, like you, to figure out, like, you know, I felt like I should focus more of my criticism on the Democratic Party, because the way we criticize the Democratic Party from the left is different from the way, you know, Republicans criticize the Democratic Party. So it's sort of a unique market niche, if you want to say. Like, there aren't other people who are making these arguments. And because of that, you know, this is, I need to be part of filling this void in the conversation and, you know, critique the Democratic Party. But, you know, same thing. Then you realize, like, oh, no, they're not making the distinction between, like, oh, you're doing it from this principled place of the left and you want them to move to the left. No, it's just, this is just like right-wingers who are happy to see you shitting on Pelosi or Hillary Clinton or whoever, and they're not really distinguishing in that way. I mean, there would still be many members of the Breaking Points audience who would be very happy if I would be a little more like, you know, yeah, how about those Democrats being too woke, guys, right? But I am not interested
And now it's boring. Now it's everybody says it. It's so boring. You're going to talk more about fucking Pelosi's investments, which is a much lower number than the fucking meme coin, shit coin, crypto scam Trump just pulled on his own supporters where he made tens of billions of dollars.
That's the other thing, too, is some of the cope can be like, well, if I'm even-handed, right, and I criticize Pelosi for her investments, and also Dan Crenshaw for his investments, and Trump for his corruption, Kushner for his corruption, and the Biden family for their corruption, then we're going to have this, like, shared view of the world that, like, corruption is bad and we shouldn't have politicians that sell out the country and do insider trading. And then you see Trump launch a crypto meme coin and scam people to the tune of tens of billions of dollars, and you hear crickets, and you're like, you all never cared about this shit.
Never.
You only cared about it because it was a Democrat.
Yes.
And I don't like, oh, Hunter's anonymous art sales. As if that is pennies compared to what Trump just pulled off.
Or Jared Kushner's $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, which they said fucking fuck all about.
Exactly.
Could you imagine if we're doing proportional criticism, which I agree with, then by the very numbers, you have to be the hardest on Donald Trump, who's done the most corruption and did the biggest scam, second hardest on Jared Kushner for the $2 billion scam with Saudi Arabia, and then way down the list is Nancy Pelosi, is Hunter Biden,
or
is
like
Joe
Hunter
Biden.
getting a board seat or whatever.
Right.
Like,
If
it
we're
sucks.
just doing
It's
the
bad.
numbers.
I don't support it.
If we're
I've been
just
very
doing the
critical.
numbers.
It is nowhere in the same league as Trump's meme coin, Live Golf selling out,
Right.
Jared Kushner $2 billion.
$160 million from foreign governments as president, which if Biden did that, they would be fucking, insane about it 24/7.
Imagine the reaction if Kamala had gotten elected and on her at the inauguration, at the dais was 4 of the 5 richest people on the entire fucking planet.
$1 trillion
Imagine
net
what
worth.
they would have said. Nothing. Crickets. No concerns.
Yep.
Only maybe the Steve Bannons of the world are like, I'm not so sure about this. But he was totally cool with it when Elon Musk was putting in $250 million to get his guy elected.
And not only that, during the H-1B visa fight, he was focusing all of his ire on Elon Musk, even though Trump came out and said, Elon is right. I agree with Elon on the H-1B
we
visa.
Need high-skilled waiters.
Yeah. And then Bannon's acting like he's fighting a war. He didn't say a fucking word against the big guy, not a word against the boss.
Yeah.
Because you're all going to fucking fall in line. Because
Yeah.
effectively, MAGA is a cult. That's what we're witnessing. It acts like a cult. And the fact that people don't notice it at this late date is preposterous. How many horrible executive orders does he have to sign before people wake up and say, he doesn't give a fuck about the American people? Not in the slightest. All of these things are bad for the American people. And that's what
I mean, these are the same people that were super, 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 super anti-cancel culture and didn't think people should be fired for their jobs for speaking out on something. And then meteorologist gets fired for saying, hey, I think that was a Nazi salute, what Elon Musk did. Like, and no one reports on it. Not a single right-winger has said anything about it because they don't actually have any values. Their values are whatever gets them in with Trump, whatever gets them in with Elon Musk, whatever gets them the most brownie points for these people with these people.
what drives me crazy is
also on her personal social media account. It's not like she went on her news station as a meteorologist and was like, the weather is going to be really windy and Elon Musk just Nazi saluted. She didn't do that. She went on a personal account and was like, it's insane that he's allowed to do this. It's insane that he can do this blatant fucking salute and nobody says or does anything. And then she got fired. Like, what?
If the theory of the case was correct, that, MAGA will hold Trump accountable when he does bad things. If you couldn't break up with him, first, even before this race, because you should have based on the stuff he did last time, but the meme coin crypto scam, and then now the executive orders on the first day. I got nothing for you. I got nothing for you.
Yeah.
I got nothing for you. If you can't see it, I have nothing for you. Because you don't want to see it. It's blah, 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 I love Trump, I don't care, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. Being purposefully obtuse is part of it. And
That's
what
true.
you don't cover is as equally as important as what you do cover. I mean, if you're just like one person or you're a small crew doing independent media, you can't cover everything. But like each story that you choose to talk about, that's a choice. That's going to kind of dictate. You're going to dictate what audience is going to get that message. And so like the thing about this and why there's so many people who are sellouts is because, you kind of start fresh. The barrier to entry is low. It's gotten higher, but it's lower now to where you can get in and just start making videos and cultivate an audience for yourself. The problem with that is nobody knows what they're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't supposed to be doing media. Before this, I was a political science nerd doing graphs and fucking grading papers. So I had no idea. And you have to learn as you go along. It's really difficult to understand where to contextualize, where to emphasize to make sure you're cultivating the correct kind of audience. So like every little thing, you kind of have to overanalyze in a way to where I talk about, if I'm talking about trans people and trans rights, I can't just anticipate pro-trans people hearing that. I can't just anticipate, I have to anticipate anti-trans people hearing that as well. So then I have to throw in some nuggets for them and talk about the class war as well. And where it's like, hey, trans people, they're not your enemy. They would like to fight alongside you, but they can't if they're fighting for just basic existence and basic healthcare. So like trying to like grow an audience that actually doesn't control you or capture you is really important. But to your point, Crystal, it is like a drug for a lot of these people. And it's a high that you always chase after that. Like Jimmy Dore in 2025 is still talking about vaccines. I believe he he talked about it was Emma Vigeland, I think, and he was talking about how she got her 5th booster or 10th booster or something, and the whole crowd was just laughing because he's still chasing that high from 2021 when he was getting, tons of new subscribers from that. But bro, that ship has sailed. And so
Yeah.
that's the problem, to your point, Kyle, about it being, short term versus long term. These people are trading, short term clicks and short term success for at the expense of long term like growth, because there really is value in being authentic and just saying what you believe regardless of the consequences. Like, we're talking about politics. Every video that you put out is going to piss off somebody, so you should never self-censor. You should never cater to a particular audience. You always just need to stay the course and have a goal in mind, and ask yourself, with every video that I put out, is this in service of that long-term goal? And a lot of people don't do that. They just kind of like shit out whatever thoughts are on their head, and then eventually they go in one direction. I mean, it's happened so many times. Dave Rubin, Russell Brand, Joe Rogan, Jimmy Dore.
It's a weird phenomenon too. The ones who get stuck in a certain era. I've seen that, right? Where like some people just stop, like it's almost like they stopped following the specific stories of politics post a certain year, and they just get stuck in a
Jimmy
rut
thing
of
is
1 year.
like we're still bad about the vaccines,
Yeah,
right,
no,
guys?
he is in 2020 forever. Like he's just stuck in 2020 forever.
But you know what's funny, even with that, is so as part of this big AI announcement, one of these dudes got up and was like, AI is going to enable us to make mRNA vaccines within 48 hours for everybody. And even on something that, the right has made such a like core part of their political identity, even on that, they weren't like, wait, we hate vaccines. What's going on?
They're followers.
We don't like this.
They're all
they
followers.
just all, they just all like, oh, if Trump's doing it, I guess it's going to be fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much rich stuff.
Yeah.
There's so much rich stuff to talk about. The whole AI scam, the fact that $500 billion basically given to tech oligarchs to set up a tech feudalist authoritarian society, and we don't have our basic needs met, but we're $500 billion towards AI, which will eventually take our jobs and replace us as they say it will.
Right.
It's like, why are we not talking about this? No, we got to talk about fucking Fauci. We got to talk about 2018, something that happened in 2018. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? So I see you're just as black-pilled as I am. You're just as radicalized as I am.
The AI bubble is going to be like the housing bubble. It's probably going to pop soon for sure. I mean, yes. The thing is, I think by the time it pops, it'll be like way too late.
There's another, there's another layer to this too, which is we're just talking about the problem of audience capture, but
because like you have to understand that the way that AI is being used now is very similar to like DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats or whatever, where these apps don't actually provide any fucking value. They just exist as like shitty middlemen that can generate a lot of revenue and wealth for a few people. It's the same exact thing. I would compare AI actually to like esports, where there really was no money to be made in esports, sadly. At the very least, no one as of yet has been able to make esports profitable. I mean, I think Moist Critical recently spoke on how he lost $4 million on his esports. Like, he just can't. It's very difficult to make the money on esports. Like, all the money that you end up spending on talent, and all the money you end up spending training the talent, and all the money you end up spending either like on probably all the other shit. I don't fucking know esports well enough. You just can't generate enough revenue. AI will not go away, but the financial bubble will burst at some point. Yeah, there's no money to be made there. It's all like speculation. And it's just, again, the same thing with AI. Like, currently, most of AI is providing basically no value. And the very little value that's being provided is, like, I think severely outweighed by the unbelievable negative. Like, I haven't even gotten into talking about how AI is ruining people's literacy. I don't mean to be this person, okay? I'm sorry, I have to say it. It's unbelievably bad that students in high school and college are using AI to answer the questions for them. Like our education system is so bad, and it was already so difficult to just get students to want to learn because we don't show them that learning is fun or that learning can be fun. Um, and now kids like never practice. They literally never practice any of these things because they don't need to. As a teacher, this is one of my biggest challenges. Yeah. What are you trying to tell us? Also, like, I recently found out about this. Teachers in chat, if there's any teachers in chat right now, please inform me if what I was told was correct or incorrect. But I had a teacher tell me that apparently, maybe it was a parent, tell me that kids are super fucked, like they can't even fucking type on keyboards. And because everybody uses their phone. And spelling has gone way the fuck down because everyone uses their phone, which autocorrects everything for you. So they've never flexed the muscle that's forced them to spell things correctly. Because, like, don't get me wrong. I have a couple words that I misspell, and I have a couple words. For me, it's always EIs and IEs. I'm always like, this looks wrong. This looks wrong too. Why? It's so infuriating. Whatever. Everyone has like a couple words, I'm sure, that like they have gone wrong time and time and time again. And eventually you get it after many, many, many instances. But if you never had to practice that skill, I had to write, not to sound like a boomer, but I had to write papers in class. I had like exams sometimes where you had to write the paper in class and we got points deducted for misspellings. Like there was very few instances where you wouldn't get points deducted. But most of the time, blue books, yeah, where you were required to write the essay in class. You were allowed to research and know what you wanted to write, but you were supposed to write it in class. How does a pen work? What's a pen? And if you never practice that, I'm sure if you were dyslexic, you would be able to get permission from like a teacher, like you would get a note from a teacher or like from a doctor and give it to the teacher and be like, hey, I'm literally...
Except after C, unless it sounds like an alike neighbor in way. Except...
I'm sure if you were dyslexic, you were able to get like a note that showed, hey, actually, please, I literally, my brain doesn't want to spell things correctly, okay? It's not my fucking fault, dude. All right? God literally nerfed me. That's not fair. But kids don't even try. They don't even try anymore because it's like autocorrect will fix everything for you. Which is just really bad. Yes, it's really bad, and computer classes have significantly gone down. Their curriculum doesn't focus on typing anymore. It's more about being able to access the internet. If anything, it's so bad, they do not prioritize typing or keyboard learning. No real strengthening of those skills. Computer class is just playing on the computer now. Someone who works in a school and has an 11-year-old. I had at least 2 typing classes where we had to get to a certain word per minute to like pass the class for the exam. It was a low word per minute, but like it was like valid, right? It was like if you're using the keyboard correctly, it'll be easy. Maybe it was like 70 words per minute. Maybe it was 60. Again, it was like, it was not super fast, but the goal was, hey, if you type it correctly, you will hit this requirement very, very, very easily. And we were told, you know, like, these are where these key fingers go. This is what you're supposed to do with these fingers, blah, blah, blah. And I've, like, met people who type with just their pointers.
Can we watch Idiocracy today so we can learn how to prepare for the future? Aware.
No, not boomers. Boomers have a past because computers got invented when they were like 60. I'm going to be honest. Boomers this is the one instance where I will say, actually, I'll allow it. Okay? Honestly, if you're a boomer and you were able to learn how to use a fucking keyboard and a computer, great. All right? Fine. Boomers made the pooters. I mean, they like some of them got to use typewriters and stuff, and some of them did start getting computers like a little bit later. But I also understand it has such a wide range, though. I'm just saying, I understand. On typing, they get a pass. On everything else, on ruining the economy, on making housing impossible to own, and making rent unbelievably expensive, on ruining the planet and advancing climate change, on all those other things, we can shit on boomers. We can shit on them. That's fine. Typing, that's fine. I really don't care. But like, I would hope that like kids can type. The index finger typing is called hunt and peck. No. No. 8th grade teacher, you're not wrong about the rampant spelling being awful. Some kids don't even have a single word spelled correctly. My most fascistic take, my most authoritarian take is like,
you're gonna have to choose between TikTok dances or being able to spell. You can't have both.
My most fascistic take is that I think that students should be forced to give in their phone at the beginning of class. Like in between classes, go ahead, look at your phone. But like, there should be like phone lockers. Because we're cooked. We're cooked. Learning is already so hard to force yourself to do. I mean, I hate to call out everyone in here, including myself. All right? How many people in here have tried to force yourself to learn a language and you still haven't fucking done it, even though you've said you're going to do it for the past 5 years? Because I'm in that group. Not me. I have a 330-day streak in Arabic on Duolingo. Okay, well, I'm sorry we can't all be you. All right? Sorry. To be fair, it is literally the hardest thing to learn. I don't know that that's true. I don't know. I'm pretty sure languages relative to other things are not harder to learn, right? I'm talking about, because I'm not talking about being able to speak easily and fluently. I'm talking about just getting yourself to spend 30 minutes at your fucking computer and learn. I'm talking about how many people in here have been like, okay, I'm going to set myself up. I'm going to do 10 minutes a day. And then within a week, you've given up. That's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about like whether or not you can successfully learn the language. I'm talking about whether or not you can just get yourself to even start fucking doing it. That's what I'm talking about. Oh God, a week is generous. Oh God, Arabic is one of the hardest languages to learn. I mean, Arabic is a difficult language to learn. As an English speaker, Arabic, I will tell you, as someone who I took classes to try and learn it, is hard. It's hard, and I speak it, and it's hard. Tablets and phones were made for passive consumption. Computers were developed for interaction. Capitalism wants people to constantly be watching shit on your phone. Info can be bought and sold. I mean, yeah, but anyways, this is why you're in the bottom of the tier list with lies. Stop. Stop. Listen, okay, going back to what I was talking about. we have so many distractions in everyday life. And also, to give credit to everyone, if you're an adult and you have like a job and like real work and real shit in your life, it's hard to get yourself to find even the mental energy to sit there and do it. But I'm only talking to the people who spend 5 hours a day gaming.
Things like I do house chores. Not unless it is absolutely necessary to function, or if it has gotten so bad that I can physically feel the judgment around me by not having done it.
Stop. We're like, if you have hours every day that you spend playing video games, you can find 10 minutes to learn a language or to learn a skill or to read a book or whatever. But learning as a concept is something that requires active effort and is not intrinsically fun. You have to learn to have fun learning, right? And you have to set up reward systems to keep yourself motivated. I play Valorant in French to practice my French skills. Okay, that's actually kind of dope. I am judging you for learning French, but that is kind of dope. My point being, the point that I was trying to make is that it's so hard to get yourself to sit down and just focus and just want to fucking learn. Everything that you can do to remove distractions will help you in your ability to learn. If you can put your phone away and turn your computer off and just sit there with like a book, you will struggle less because you don't have constant distractions around you. If we send kids to school to learn, I know we don't, we send them to fucking have free daycare, but if we send kids to school to learn and the goal is that school would be a place that kids would learn things, we should be able to set up a system that they aren't actively getting distracted by things that are meant to distract them day in and day out. And I think that kids having constant access to their phone is bad. Is objectively bad. Excessive screen time is correlated with ASD symptoms. Oh no. No. Don't think of the 7 months. No. And it's like, you don't have to spend, remember chat, you don't have to spend like an hour a day. Just make it easy, you know? If you actually really, really do want to and you've been failing at something, pick one thing at a time and just like, you know, take it easy. But moving back on what I was talking about, forgot what I was doing this up. I think I was just saying it as a sidebar. Yeah, wait, kids should not have access to their phones. They should not. They absolutely should not.
Most of these outlets, especially all of the right-wing outlets, they take tons of corporate money.
Oh yeah, that's a well-oiled machine.
And
that's a well-oiled machine on the right.
Tell me how you're different from mainstream media.
They're not.
Like, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
In
How was
fact,
Rogan?
it's worse because I worked at MSNBC and I can tell you the hosts are not involved in soliciting, pharma executives or whatever. There is at least a theoretical wall between the on-air talent and the people who are selling the ads. In the quote unquote new media world, there is none of that. You oftentimes are the person who are reading the ad. And so we're supposed to believe for some reason you have more integrity than they do when actually you're more directly compromised in terms of the financial interest. And, that's the other part of this is just like, I don't know. I guess I'm not even sure what the answer is because I think you just have to rely on some
Destroy
sort
them.
of like.
That's the answer. Destroy these lying fucking
audiences
frauds.
have to be educated about the differences between the different business models and because you can create a business that has better incentives and tries to protect you against some of these corrupting influences. But and at this point there just needs to be a recognition that just because you're on YouTube or you have a podcast does not mean that you have any more integrity than any mainstream figure and is probably an indication that you have much less.
Rogan gives a hand job to a robber baron, a new one, every other week. And we're supposed to think like, oh, bro, you're really independent. It's really great how you keep having on asshole MAGA politicians and genocide supporters for Israel.
Or like Barry Weiss, fearless truth teller Barry Weiss, who hosted a Trump inauguration party in like collaboration with Uber and had a bunch of I mean that's the other thing too, is all these people pretend like they're fearless outsiders, and then it's like there they are at Trump's inauguration, the literal president of the United States,
and by
the
way,
most powerful person in the world.
Is Rogan now shitting on Trump for his fucking clear meme coin scam of his own supporters? Is he talking about that? Is he talking about the executive orders that raise drug prices? If Joe Biden signed an executive order that raised drug prices, Rogan would fucking talk about it. Rogan would talk about it. Everybody in that right-wing sphere would talk about it. With Trump, they won't say shit because they're all captured. They are MAGA regime media. That's what they are. And also, if you get a $250 million fucking contract or whatever the fuck it is from Spotify, it's like, spare me the like fucking outsider tap dance, right?
Yeah.
Spare me the, and it's not just for him, it's for all the others as well.
And that's part of the problem, though, to your point, Kyle. Like, if you are 100 millionaire multiple times over, like, little by little, you're just going to naturally become detached from everyday people. I mean, Joe Rogan is not going to live a life that's even remotely similar to somebody else in Texas, right? Like, he's never going to have to worry about healthcare costs. Perhaps, he was already insulated from that. But there are degrees of wealth that really make you a psychopath, I think, honestly. Like, not to psychoanalyze people, but like, when you just have like $10 million, $50 million, you're doing really good, you're comfortable, but I think that you still maybe have the capacity to empathize. When you get into the 100 million, billion category, that's when like I think you actually become a sociopath. And so like you don't just like become detached, you genuinely hate and are antagonistic towards working people, because then there's resentment because there's a lot of income and wealth inequality. So maybe he gets called, a rich person and gets accused of rich-splaining or whatever, and then he starts to fight back against them. So like it's just these people they're not representative of the average human experience, right? So they can't pretend to speak for regular people when like Joe Rogan has a fucking I don't know, he probably has a mansion with like 20 rooms in it. Like that's not what the normal people are dealing with, so that also is part of the problem as well.
Yeah, as well as just, I mean, I've made this point 1,000 times about Rogan, but his environment, it's true. He went from LA to Texas, but he's surrounded 24/7 by edgy right-wing comedians who think comedy is just like pissing off liberals. Like that's their whole view of what comedy is. I said the edgy thing. Oh, did you? You're such a bad boy. Like that's their whole fucking thing, right?
Yeah, but it's so cringe too. Fuck, man. I saw his tweet where it was like, it's like a seagull or something. It's some bird. I don't fucking know. And the caption is like, don't do that. And then it's like Elon Musk is the seagull, and then his foot is touching the water, and it's like, does that? And then he responded with like a crying, laughing emoji. Really peak cringe. Let me just say that much, okay? But fuck, dude. You're not owning the libs by being as edgy, epic style as you can be. You're just posting cringe. Psychology major here. A lot of CEOs and head of companies have some form of sociopathic tendencies, considering you're constantly firing people and changing people's lives on a whim without too much empathy. I mean, sorry. I caused myself damage. I caused myself psychic damage. Hurt itself. Denims hurt itself in confusion. Do I need to pull up the fucking Mr. Incredibles movie scene with the CEO, the health insurance CEO? You have to be insane. You have to lack empathy to be cool with putting profits over real people over and over and over again. You are barely human at that point, dude. You've lost your humanity when at some point making a few extra dollars is worth more than someone else's life. They did a real study taken as a person. A successful capitalistic company has all the trademarks of a sociopath. This means Denims is either bug type, ghost type, or dark type. Call me bug type the way I'd be going bug mode on your girl, whatever that means. No, you just have to be a Republican. No, because even Republicans still experience empathy. Like, not every single one, to be very clear. But, like, the fuck? What the fuck is bug mode? I don't know. Some Zoomer said it in my game, okay? I don't fucking know, man. I'm just trying to stay hip. I'm just trying to stay hip. Guys, we found her manager. Aren't you Zoomer? Sorry, some alpha, some Gen Alpha nerd child said it. Okay, hag maxing.
Don't let him hear a lady bishop tell him to have compassion for people.
Oh, then
They'll
they melt
fucking
down.
melt down.
Then they melt down. Hearing in a Christian...
Whoa, that is too out there. How dare you?
Yeah, delivering the message of Jesus to the face of these supposed Christians is a fucking bridge too far. Right. And I saw Republican politicians like, deport her!
Yeah.
Oh, no, we should be deporting Elon Musk. That's who we should be deporting.
I love the evergreen meme of like Christians if Christians are right and it's some guy in hell. Goodbye, chatter. You broke rule number 1 and the only rule of chat, which is being really annoying. A crime I cannot allow to slide. Not acceptable.
Not to digress. They brought on the crypto scam pastor to Laura Ingram's show.
Yeah,
right.
To go after this lady and say she should never preach the gospel of Christ again or whatever. Like, oh my God.
Tell me about your morality, Mr. Crypto Scammer, who just crypto scammed fucking 24 hours ago. Asshole.
No,
I mean,
I
these
reached
people are
out to that guy on Twitter and I asked him, Pastor Lorenzo, I was going to donate all this money that I have to my local church, but it seems like if I put it all into Lorenzo coin, that's going to be better. So I could do that and then donate it to the church. Like if I do that, you're not going to rug pull on me, are you? Like,
oh man.
Yeah. This is a man of great integrity, Mike. How dare you suggest?
Melania coin, Trump coin, Lorenzo coin. I mean, what the fuck is Barron going to do to us when that time rolls around? Thank God Trump Jr. is just out there doing cocaine off strippers' assholes. Like, at least he's busy doing something that's more productive than scamming the entire fucking country.
Well, I think him and Eric are involved in the whatever the crypto bullshit is that
of course.
Trump did. Yeah. So I think they're partly responsible in that direction. So
yeah.
Is it okay if I leave to play Dwarf Fortress? Of course, dude. I get it. Oh, that was a good video.
Hey guys, we had a great conversation with Mike of the Humanist Report.
The blonde Kyle Kalinske is growing on me. I was not a blonde Kyle Kalinske person. I was like, put the bleach down, old man. But it's growing on me. It's growing on me. I think he's been toning it more and he's been maintaining it more. And I'm kind of starting to respect it. It was giving Slim Shady before. I think I'm enjoying it. I think I'm enjoying it, okay? Blonde is for children. Be a grown-up. Bald Linsky arc soon. Chad, I really desperately want to do I don't know what the official name of it is, but I want to do one of those like hairstyles where like it's like you take one of like these pieces of your hair and you have like a silver strand in. Mostly because this is like super easy to maintain because even when it starts growing dark, it's fine. You don't have to maintain it as much. And I really kind of wanted to do that. I thought it'd be really cool. The Tulsi, yeah. I call that streaks, I don't know. I'm worried it would look cringe. What if I look cringe, dude? What if I can't pull it off as well as Tulsi can pull it off, dude? Fuck. Because I respect women who do like the from the front, like the money piece, but I can't do the money piece because it's too much work to maintain. Because every time your hair grows out, you have to fucking bleach it again, and then bleach it again, and bleach it again. But having like one section that's silver, I feel like I would be able to maintain that. Peekaboo, kind of, yeah. Try an extension. Wait, you're spitting. Wait. No, the money piece is specifically, I'm pretty sure, like when it's coming from the front. But I don't want to do that. Because again, I don't want to maintain that. That sounds like work.